Oh, are we on?
You're good. You're
We're
good.
on. I thought I was hearing the music. My bad. We got it last time. We're on. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Level 7. It's time for another edition of the Agents of Fandom podcast. We got a wonderful, wonderful live show today, joined as always by my co-host Garrett Blaney. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm excited for this. I'm in a competitive spirit right now. We just had a great chat with some of our really good friends and people we haven't talked to in a while, and I'm fired up right now, ready to go for this.
I am as well. I haven't done any preparation really. It's been a wild, wild day today, which we're going to get into. But before that, I'm joined as well by sometimes behind the scenes producer, mostly lately our trusty co-host Adam Blevins. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, like you said, it's usually for so long I was behind the scenes, and then now, I've had the opportunity to come on and join you guys, and it's been so much fun. But you were right. You hit the nail on the head when you said it's been a crazy day today. So I planned on doing a little bit more preparation, but then I just took like 5 minutes, just these last 5 minutes, and found 10 or 12 movies that I liked. But I think I've got a pretty strong roster, so I'm excited to get into this draft.
And no, I wanna real quickly shout out Adam for how much work he has done today. We had 15 to 20 articles in the barrel drafts on the site, and Adam caught us up today pretty much single-handedly in editing. He was an absolute machine. He's currently working on an exclusive for us. So Adam absolutely toned down the day that he's had. Shout out to you. Thank you for taking a load off of my shoulders. You're incredible, man.
Thank you. I mean, shout out, like you said, to the exclusive. I'm not going to just sit here and spend 2 minutes taking a bunch of credit, but for the exclusive stuff, I know we're going to get into it a little bit more, but shout out to Ryan and Aisha out there, the Little Mermaid, Canadian premiere, killing it and getting to talk to Jacob Tremblay some. They did such a good job, and I'm really excited to be able to write that up and have that out to you guys hopefully tomorrow. But I know we're gonna. I don't want to spoil it too much because I know we're gonna get into that. But thank you for all the love for everybody in the chat too. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Who does Adam sound like? It's driving me crazy. Adam sounds like
This is
someone from
another
Friday.
episode of the voice stuff.
It sounds like someone from Friday Night Lights, and I'm going insane.
Oh, that's juicy. I like that.
Friday Night Lights.
Is he Tim Riggins?
Maybe a little bit of Riggins. I was thinking a little bit of Landry too.
Well,
Sorry.
not to bury the lead, but here we are with another one of our special guests today. You may know her from The Mary Sue or Collider, or maybe from agentsofandom.com because she is now an agent as well. Rachel Leishman, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I saw in the chat that my daughter Layla was asking what I was eating. I got my dinner late, so it's just some fries and a chicken sandwich. But I was running, so that's what I was munching on for the chat questions.
Wait a
Shout
second.
out.
Leishman is how you say your last name?
Yeah.
Wow,
Leishman.
I think I've just been reading it for so long. I've never actually said it out loud, and I didn't know how you pronounced it.
It's a lot of people go Leishman with it, but it's Scottish.
I thought it was Leishman the whole time. I'm glad that it was,
Chris
that
knew.
Chris was aware. He sorted the world to be aware.
Exactly.
My dad was a big golf fan, and there was a golfer named Mark Leishman, and that's how I knew that. That's why that was stuck in my head. But now you've also met our other special guest today from comicbook.com, the funniest guy in superhero and nerd media, Chris Killian. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing great. That's so nice of you. Thank you so much.
And skinniest.
Oh, well, getting there. Give me like a few more days of not eating, and I'll be right there. And I'm sure I sound just like Adam because I'm in Nashville. So so Adam, I feel your pain. And no, it's so good to be here. I'm very excited. I've missed you guys, Garrett and TJ. You guys are always so nice, and it's just such a pity that I have to destroy you today.
We got a very, very fun draft ahead of us, drafting our favorite third movies, our favorite threequels, either in a trilogy, a franchise, a saga, whatever you want to call it. If it's the third installment in a film franchise, you can draft it today. The only real rules are you each have to have one comic book movie. At least one. Not a maximum of one, but a minimum of one in your teams. Just because this was inspired by Guardians of the Galaxy 3, an amazing finale to a trilogy. I do want to ask politely to my fellow co-hosts and our guests and our amazing chat in YouTube as well as Twitch. If you're watching on those things, please like, subscribe, hit the like button. Shout out to Brandon Moore in chat. Happy belated birthday to our wonderful, amazing Brandon Moore. Thank you for the gifted
Taurus?
subs on Twitch. Yes, ma'am.
He's a Taurus?
Yeah.
I believe so. I don't know.
I don't know. You tell
I'm
me.
taking your word for it.
That would be a Taurus. That would be a Taurus.
Shout out to Brandon. He is the absolute best for gifting those subs. And to everybody, what I would ask is that you please don't spoil Guardians of the Galaxy both on the podcast and in the chat. For those who have not seen it yet, we can draft it and you can talk about how much you loved it. But we won't go into spoilers. Before we talk about the draft, make sure you're following the Agents of Fandom on all the socials. Agents of Fandom everywhere except for Twitter, at Agents Fandom. And we've got so much great stuff up on the website right now. We have one more to drop still with Sarah Natacheni, the voice actor for Ash Ketchum, still later this weekend. But we've now dropped the interview with Jed MacKay, writer of the upcoming Avengers book. We talked about how he built the new Avengers team and his journey over at Marvel. Talked with Najee Jeter, and that article is up as well. He's the voice actor for Miles Morales in the Spider-Man games, as well as Sam in The Last of Us. We chatted live-action characters you'd want to see across the Spider-Verse, the upcoming game, and lots of good stuff, as well as the voice actors for Superman and Wonder Woman, George Newbern and Susan Eisenberg from Justice League, Unlimited Justice League, and so many other things. So make sure you check out agentsofandom.com for that. And like Adam mentioned, we got an exclusive coming as well because I am so incredibly proud of first Ryan, who is our amazing, wonderful social media coordinator. He got our very first in-person interviews a couple weeks ago for Guardians of the Galaxy. He interviewed Sean Gunn and Chakudi Awuji, and you can find those up on the Agents of Fandom YouTube page and the website as well. But also to Aisha, sorry, I messed that up again, but Guardians of the Galaxy's in my head, Aisha, because I thought going into the day that Aisha was going to be working the camera and Ryan was going to be doing the interview with Jacob Tremblay, and then I saw in the chat that Aisha crushed it, absolutely blew it away, got an exclusive with the interview today with Ryan working the camera. I am so proud of both of them, but especially Aisha today because this is her very first interview and it was in our first red carpet for The Little Mermaid. So shout out to Aisha. Shout out to this entire team because this has been such an incredible day. I also got to talk to Chip Zdarsky at my local comic shop today. We talked Daredevil and a bunch of other stuff. He's an absolutely hilarious guy. He's just finishing up his Daredevil run, currently writing Batman over at DC as well. So lots of fun stuff coming. Make sure you check all of that out. But it's time to draft. I have entered all of our names in a draft order randomizer. What's up, Rachel?
I need you to say this man's name again because every time you say it, I hear Chip Skylark, and I know that's not his name because that is the guy from the Fairly Odd Parents. So I need you to say his name again.
Chip Zdarsky.
Still hearing Chip Skylark, but okay.
Unbelievable. This is why we gave Rachel a bad draft pick, but I put all of our names in the draft order generator. Adam is very prepared. I don't know how prepared
He prepared
Chris is.
today. I've been prepared my whole
I assume
life.
Chris is prepared. Rachel, I'm terrified of you in this draft, I'm just going to say, but...
I have so many options. You guys don't know what's coming.
First overall pick belongs to Chris Killian. Number 2, Adam Blevins. Number 3, TJ Zwarich. Number 4, Rachel Leishman. And then it is a snake draft, so Garrett will be drafting last in the first round, but first in the second round with back-to-back picks. Shout out to our amazing producer, Ruben, who has thrown up the draft board on your screens here to follow along. Reminder, It's any third movie in a franchise, in a saga, whatever you want to call it. And each team needs one comic book movie. Chris Killian, you are on the clock. Take it away.
You know what I'm going to say. Do I even have to say it? Do you guys want to say it for me? Do you guys want to say it for me? Come on.
I'm not going to, just in case.
Smart.
I know what he's gonna say, and it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I assume we're all on the same page, but I guess we'll see.
I am going to choose Captain America Civil War.
I'm so glad you
One of
did.
my picks.
Yeah, great job. Go for it.
Yeah, you know why you knew he was gonna pick Civil War? It's because he told me he would if he went first, and he ended up going.
Yeah, I feel like you got debated on Twitter, Chris. What's going on with that?
Well,
Guess
you
what?
know,
That's fine because there's
that's
other
all I
thirds.
wanted.
I'll
Was,
pick.
look, I have non-comic book picks I might have gone with, but I knew I couldn't give Rachel a chance.
Fair.
You know, I was
Don't
like, I got to
worry.
get Civil War before she can nab it, so it's mine.
Fair.
All right.
Don't
Civil War is off the board with the first overall pick. Adam, what do you got for us with number 2?
Well, I'll keep the trend going of comic book movies. I was really worried Chris was gonna take this, but I'll take the movie that I think might be the best MCU movie ever,
Can-
and that's
can I
Avengers
guess?
Infinity War, the third Avengers.
Oh,
movie.
you were going to say Infinity. That's
I
not,
was like,
you got
TJ's
Ragnarok
gonna get
behind you.
mad.
Should have been the first overall pick. I thought maybe there was a chance it could slip to me.
I was worried Chris was gonna take it. I was so happy when I heard him.
I
utter Captain
genuinely
America.
love Civil War more than Infinity War, so I have to go with Civil War.
Yeah, I wonder why I like Civil War the most, but Chris took it. Whatever.
It's like 2 separate drafts are happening right now, I feel.
It's just me and Chris fighting.
It's a Chris and Rachel, and then it's a Adam, TJ, Garrett. I mean, you know what? That's fine. I personally prefer that because, like I said, I was terrified of drafting against you anyway. So this actually works in my favor.
It's a
All
TJ go.
right. Well, this is tough. This makes things quite a bit more difficult for me here. I didn't like the third spot, but I was hoping maybe there'd be a chance Infinity War would slip to me, but it didn't. And so I think I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to go with the heart, not the brain. Screw it. And I'm going to take this one out of the way early, even though it should probably go later. And I'm taking my favorite Star Wars movie, Revenge of the Sith.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I think that's a solid pick.
TJ, you can have it.
Oh.
Oh, well, now I know what I'm. Oh wait, I know what I'm doing. I'm taking Return of the Jedi, because that was my picks for Star Wars were the Return of the Jedi.
Man.
So I'll take Return of the Jedi on this turn. I don't have to explain it. It's the best one.
No, it's
Better than Empire Strikes Back.
I
It's
agree
better
with
than
you.
Empire Strikes Back.
Rachel, we're
I agree with you
only
too.
so competitive because we have such amazing taste. We just know that we're going to pick each other's picks.
Something fell from heavens.
Shadow just knocked White Vision right down. He said he does not agree that Return of the Jedi is better than Empire Strikes Back. He, as you can see, is a cat who embraces the dark side, and he's more of an Empire guy.
I'll fight you, Shadow.
You would lose.
Yeah, Ben, you
Interesting.
can't help me. Ben, you
Garrett,
can't.
the final pick in the first round, and also the first pick in the second round. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to get my comic book movie out of the way here and take Spider-Man No Way Home off the board.
That's what I was gonna do. I've had such a long day. That was my backup pick.
Yeah, I'm
That's
surprised
right.
that
Good
slipped
job, Garrett.
that far down to me. But honestly, there was a couple of choices I could have gone with. So I'm happy. Take that.
TJ just took my Star Wars, and so I was panicking that Chris would take Revenge if I didn't, or Return if I didn't take Return.
Well,
Yeah.
you do have another pick before Chris. But I mean, if
I
I'm being
know.
real, Garrett was probably taking Return of the Jedi there anyway.
That's why I did. I flipped what I was gonna do. So now I have to think of something else now.
It's all right, guys. I'm not worried.
I might have gone with Revenge of the Sith actually if that hadn't been taken, but both of them were off the board, so I didn't have to choose between either, which I'm okay with. And now for my snake pick, I'm gonna leave a couple that I want off the. Why are you looking
To
at me
me,
like that?
there's two movies that you specifically have to pick.
Okay, I have a lot on my board that I want. I feel like I'm gonna come out of left field here, but I'm gonna go with something that I don't want anyone else to have. It's something that's very near and dear to my heart, and so I'm gonna take it here, hoping that it's not too early. But Lord of the Rings,
There it is.
Return
That's
of the
one.
King,
That was one.
is gonna. Okay, good, good. I'm glad that I satisfied you, and I had another one too. I assume we're on the same page, but that's gonna be taken in this round if I had to guess.
Yeah, there's a good chance I'm even considering it if it falls to me. But those are two great picks, Garrett. No Way Home is probably the one that I should have done. That was my pick if I didn't get Infinity War earlier in the day, and I just kind of forgot about it because that's life. Shadow is pissed I didn't get No Way Home. But Rachel, you're back up for your second round pick.
All right. It's obvious. It is my favorite of the entire franchise. It is a perfect little movie. I love it so much. It is where we learned his full name is Henry Jones Jr. I'm taking Last Crusade.
That was
A
my
perfect
favorite, too.
film.
Yeah, not unsurprising taken off the board right there. I'm happy for you that you were able to grab that.
Garrett, I trusted that you weren't taking it, so that's why I was just
I feel like you would have
I'm
murdered me. Our friendship would have been over. Like, why screw up my draft to screw up your draft? I'll savor that relationship.
With my next pick, I was thinking about trying to get this in later because I think it's a movie that could slip under the radar with people maybe forgetting that it is a third movie in a franchise. But since there's so many great comic book movies off the board, I do want to get this pick on my team because I've made it a little bit of my personality, making sure that our wonderful friend and colleague Ethan Simi finally sees this movie. It's not Thor. It's not that one. It's
That was on
making
my
sure
board too.
our friend Ethan Simi finally watches this movie. He considers himself a film buff and a film connoisseur, and he has not seen one of the very greatest superhero movies ever. And I'm taking Logan off of the board, the third movie in the Wolverine franchise.
Yeah, that's a great pick. Sleeper pick, actually. I had to decide not to grab that one in the first round.
That was the one that I was waiting on next. That was my next pick. So good job.
Thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot.
And that would take it all back full circle to our first ever podcast appearance with Chris, where we talked in depth about Wolverine and Logan. So full circle.
That
You love
was my
movie.
Logan.
I'm really impressed that you guys remember that because
It meant a lot to us.
Yeah, it was our very first episode ever, I believe, and that was our very first podcast episode ever, and we did a X-Men fan cast, and you selected an unknown as Wolverine.
Yeah.
oh man, you guys just wait till you hit your 30s.
I'm only a month away. That's why I forgot my first round pick, because I'm only a month away.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. It was special for us.
You guys were like, it was so special, and I could tell that Chris was like, I didn't remember.
And it was just another day for him, and that's fine. That's
I
fine.
know I have appeared on their podcast before. It's not like I didn't remember them.
He's been on so many times, it's hard to remember which time we talked about that.
Yeah, I just didn't remember that we specifically talked about Wolverine. But
Look, there's
I
important.
didn't mean to get you in hot water, I promise.
Look, when we started podcasting together, there is very many things about the beginning of that journey that we're out here trying to forget because it was so unpleasant. And so it's okay that Chris forgets parts of it because we want people to forget parts of it because it was such a dark
That's
time
actually
in our
true.
history.
Very true.
Adam, back to you with your first pick of the second round, your second pick overall.
I'm like sweating over here because you guys just keep picking the picks off my board one by one, and my board for like 3 or 4 more rounds left. My board is looking slim, so I'm going to be on Google stressing, I think, for the last like round or two. But seeing as how I got 2 Chris picks between me and my next pick, I'm going to go with the one I think he might be more likely to take in the next 1 or 2, and I may be wrong. I may just not know Chris, but I'm going to go ahead and take Thor Ragnarok. I'm going to take another comic book movie. I'm going to take Thor Ragnarok off the board.
I'm surprised to slip that far.
Look, the only reason, I'm happy that I got first, but I didn't know that first meant that I was gonna get like seventh after that. So I'm really.
Yeah, how do you feel about Civil War?
I really
You
need
got your
people to
Civil
really follow me over. So now, do I get two now? Do I have?
You
two?
do have 2 now.
Okay, all right. So, with admitting that you guys have taken several of my next choices, I particularly wanted Return of the Jedi and Logan and Ragnarok. I'm
Good
gonna
job, all
take
of
a.
us.
I'm gonna take this next one. I want to do is I'm gonna do it because it literally is my favorite movie in the franchise. I am such an Alfonso Cuarón fan. I'm gonna go Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Nice. That's who I
Yeah.
was hoping to get with my 3rd round here. Great pick.
Yeah, thank you. That's nice.
As a Sirius Black, as the owner of Sirius Black, I appreciate it. I own
Good.
Sirius Black now. I've taken, and he's mine. She didn't.
Shout out
she didn't own him.
to the author of the Harry Potter books, Hermione Granger and or Emma Watson, whichever of those you subscribe to, the true author of those books.
/ Rachel Eastman for her contributions for Sirius Black.
Yeah. And head over to agentsfandom.com where you can find our recap of Bonnie Wright, who played Ginny's panel at the Calgary Expo.
Now, how many rounds are we going through? How many picks do we get all together?
4.
4. Okay. This is tough. Okay, so for my next pick, only because I think all the movies in this trilogy are absolutely perfect, I'm going for Back to the Future Part 3.
Back to the Future Part. I can't wait till I can select Fast X Part 3 when we do this in the future.
I can wait.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that counts.
Immediately.
Oh yeah, because it's a trilogy. Vin Diesel said so.
I don't know. I feel like no, it's not a trilogy. It's an entire franchise. I feel like it's Tokyo Drift. You have to pick
Vin
Tokyo
Diesel's
Drift.
words, not mine.
I don't know. That's I don't think so. I think that's 12, dude. I don't
Vin
know.
Diesel, respect him.
And also, why wouldn't you pick Tokyo Drift?
Yeah, I feel like
Introduction
that.
of Han.
Yeah.
Respectfully, Vin Diesel. You don't know. You know nothing.
It is the introduction of Han. So.
All right. Did Chris give 2?
Adam.
I forget
I
where
gave
we're at.
2.
Is it back to
Yeah,
Adam?
I got
All right.
Prisoner of Azkaban and Back to the Future Part 3.
Back to the Future Part 3, Prisoner of Azkaban. Adam, back to you.
I had 2 up next, and I was pretty confident Chris was going to take one of them and then make my job really easy, but he didn't, and now I've got a decision to make, and I am going to go with the pick that everybody in the chat, when we announced this draft, they were like, whoever takes this is getting my votes. This is just a vote pick. Now I don't say I love this movie. I think it's the best in the franchise. I'm picking Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 off the board. Great
Oh, I'm
pick.
so mad at you. That was gonna be my final snake pick, and I'm so mad at you.
Oh man, I cannot believe that nobody had grabbed that one so far, because everybody in the chat all week was like, whoever picks Toy Story 3 is getting all of our votes. I was surprised somebody hadn't snagged that one.
Wait, I didn't know that people were saying that in the chat. I would have picked that one.
You know what?
Perks of being
You
in
know
the
what
chat.
else can be drafted that people have talked about in the chat that hasn't been picked yet? Kind of the reason why we are doing this. Adam, what's the best trilogy in the MCU?
Oh, it's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, I'm going to select
Ant-Man.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3. The reason for this draft as my 3rd round pick. What
Oh, I'm
some
in
are
shambles
saying
right now.
the 3rd best movie. The 3rd best movie in the MCU for some people. The best 3rd movie in the MCU for some people. And so Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is off the board.
Well, you took my favorite boy away from me. It's fine.
I
One of
got
my
Rachel's
superhero-
vote.
No, you don't. Here's the thing. I have 2 superhero movies I'm going back and forth between. One, a movie I like. Actually, both of them are movies I like, and society didn't like them of this franchise. But I think there's enough people on Twitter.com that supports one over the other. So I will use the Twitter support of Iron Man 3 and the love it actually deserves. And I will claim Iron Man 3 a perfect fucking movie that people just hate on for no reason.
It is a Christmas
I
movie.
love
I'll
it.
give you that.
It is a Christmas
Yeah.
movie.
It is a
And
Christmas movie.
it is another Shane Black Christmas movie, which, like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, is a perfect thing to watch at Christmas time. That's what I chose.
I'm so struggling right now because I was like Guardians 3 slipped this far, Toy Story 3 slipped this far. I'm gonna grab them for my last 2 picks and be done. And now I don't have a backup plan, so
I
I'm
have
struggling.
3 left on my board, and I don't know which to choose. So I'm hoping you take one of them.
I have a lot left on my board. I have a lot of options left on my board, and I don't know where to go with this. So I feel like I got to pick something that's going to be pretty different than most of
you
everything.
You gotta go with your movie here first.
I don't know what you're talking about because the movie that I wanted was taken already.
There's a movie that you really like, and or a trilogy that you really like that's still on the board.
Okay, yeah, I want to. Okay,
I wonder if it's the one that my other option.
it probably is. I mean, it's probably a very popular. I know what you're talking about, but I want to kind of have I always have a fun team. I feel I always have a really fun team, and I break away from the mold, and I feel like my team this time is very run of the mill. It's great, but I want to have a really fun pick in there. So I'm gonna go. I'll take the safe one first. I'm gonna go with The Dark Knight Rises.
That was it. Yeah, that was it.
That was my
I mean, I'm
other
wearing the
one.
Batman shirt too,
Yeah.
so I have to go with it. But for my last pick, my snake pick, I'm gonna go with something kind of crazy, I guess. And it was down to Tokyo Drift, which I revealed earlier because we went on the tangent. That was on my list. Or Alien 3.
Ooh.
So, I think I'm gonna go with. Oh, damn it! Alien 3.
Alien 3 is
Yeah.
Garrett's final film.
Yeah. Wow, that was a really tough choice. Damn it.
Back to you, Rachel.
Okay, so here is the thing. I have a movie that means a lot to me as a person, but I don't think people love it in the way I do, and it's just because I'm a little freak and I love this trilogy very much. It's very near and dear to me. And that both of them are very near and dear to me, but one is more an obvious choice and the other one is more like, oh, I guess. So I think I'm going to go the more obvious choice, and then I'll tell you what the oh, I guess it was. I'm going to pick Star Trek Beyond because it's the best of that franchise, and it is just a very, very good Star Trek movie as a whole. And Chris Pine, so hot as Captain Kirk. But the movie I was fighting between was that and Bill and Ted Face the Music, which is so good.
I think that was a great pick, to be honest.
That was if I could have a bonus, it would be Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Fair. Maybe we should get a bonus and I can snag Tokyo Drift up.
So that's one of the 3 on my list too, Garrett, is Tokyo Drift. Obviously, with that movie coming out this week, it'd be fun. It'd be fun to
Too
go with
late.
that
You've
one.
saddled yourself to Fast X Part 3 already. You can't pick Tokyo Drift.
You can't go back.
So my choices are between Tokyo Drift, my favorite of one of the best action franchises ever. I'm not saying that's what Tokyo Drift is. I'm saying
I already
this
know
is a
what you're
different
talking
action
about.
franchise, and it's my favorite one.
Better not be what I think it is, because that is not the best one if it's what I think it is.
Or my favorite heist franchise, and going with the third one, which is my second favorite movie in that set. I considered Ocean's 13. I considered Mission Impossible 3. But I'm going to go with Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift for my guy, Han.
Veto.
I thought you were going to try
Have
and
you marked
say John Wick 3 was the best in that, and I was like, what is wrong with you?
No, Mission
But never
Impossible
mind.
3 is my favorite of all of them.
Sure. I like the one where him and Jeremy Renner
Wait.
have a thing.
Mission Impossible 3 is your favorite, and you went with Tokyo Drift?
Yeah, because I like Fast and Furious more than Mission Impossible.
He's an enigma. I don't know. Don't
know
try to
what?
figure him out.
No, Chris,
just-
he's right. It's Han. He's right for Han alone because Han.
And
is
I
the
met,
best.
shout out to your colleague BD, who introduced me to Soon Kang and Han, as well as Tyrese Gibson. I got to meet both of them back before we started Agents of Fandom. I was teaching, my whole class was in the background. It was a super awesome experience. Inspired me to want to do this. Yeah, I got to meet Han and I got to meet Roman. It was awesome.
I love Han so much.
I gotta
Han Solo
ride
is my
or
favorite.
die with my guys a quarter mile at a time.
All
Adam,
right.
what's your last
It's
pick?
about family.
Oh, I'm deciding between. I got 2 picks left on my board. One of which Rachel in John Wick 3 kind of just took like a steaming shit on the franchise. So now I'm thinking that might not be the best pick.
No, it's just that
right now.
4 is better.
Oh, I
not
100%
the
agree with that. Okay.
But also one
It's
and
Not
two.
the best movie of the franchise. Yeah, it's
Oh,
good.
no,
It's just
no. 1 and 2 is not better than 3. Come
Are
on.
you
that
kidding?
Franchise is,
Are you just
No, that
really?
franchise
Did
has
you just
gotten
say
better and better.
The first John Wick is not better than John Wick 3.
No, it's not. It's
The
not even
whole
particularly
reason
close.
we love John Wick. Okay.
No,
I'm with
it's not even
Chris.
particularly close either.
I'm with Chris. I'm with Chris. The first
Oh,
is
here we
just
go.
a
Here we go.
classic. A classic. They're all great
I
though.
won't
Yeah,
disagree
that's
with
all.
that. But
What-
They're all
okay,
great.
Hold on a second. Hold on, Adam. Okay, I'm trying to understand this. Was it like the 17th pane of glass John Wick got thrown in part 3 that really put it over the top for you?
You know, it's funny you say that because it actually was exactly that.
Chris gets
Yeah,
angry when he's fasting.
no, Chris. It's when
Why
the
don't you go
dog.
eat a Snickers or something?
It's when the dog gets shot and then decides it's going to enact revenge on the person who shot him. That's what it was.
No, that's John Wick 5. That's coming up soon.
No. That's
Anyways,
what
Adam,
really
maybe not
happened.
the John Wick pick. Maybe we go
Somehow
with the other
dog
one.
returned. Yeah. But the funny thing is the other one, it's like one of the, this is a franchise that I love. Big shout out to my man, Andy Serkis. This was my first like big Andy Serkis, like not genre, but franchise that I really got into.
Venom, Live and Let Die.
loved. It's just there's the title is just Venom, but you just replace the E with a 3. That's all.
Venom, Live and Let Die.
But I think this John Wick discussion just soured me on the whole franchise. So I'm gonna go with what my other pick, which is War for the Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes is a franchise that I absolutely love, and I know that's like a pick that nobody else was gonna take. That's a good
That's a good pick.
franchise.
That's a
Rachel,
good
I don't
pick.
like that look on your face. That's a really, all 3 of those are.
Adam,
No, that
I'm
is
so
a good
sorry.
pick.
Hold on, Adam, I'm so sorry. You said I didn't think that was a franchise anyone was going to take, and the words that almost came out of my mouth was, "Yeah, for good reason." But I stopped them. But then you said, "I don't
Okay.
like that look."
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Adam is just getting
Jesus.
No, Adam, great pick there, buddy. I want it's like Family Feud when you know, good
You
pick.
just moral
Good pick.
clap for me
Yeah,
just because
no.
you think I'm feeling bad.
Hey,
no,
I'm,
don't do that.
whoa.
No.
I'm not giving you free sympathy, buddy. I'm on your side, man. Hey, I'm on your side, buddy.
That was
I'm
such
just
an
fighting a
accurate
losing battle here.
description.
Everybody else in this call is just screaming at
Good
me.
pick.
That was-
Good pick.
Good one. And then
Oh, here
Steve
we
Harvey's
go.
like, or Richard Dawson kisses somebody and then says no.
Whatever. Grandma.
Whatever era.
I honestly feel really bad that I gave you so much crap about John Wick 3. Like I feel
There's no
guilty
way.
about it
There's
because
just no way.
because I realized that now you've picked a better movie, and that's frustrating. If I just left it alone, you would have went with John Wick 3, and then I would have won more decisively.
The words of
But-
Taylor Swift, Karma
Chris
is your
has
boyfriend.
taste. That's taste right there. Nice.
Jared, I need you to unpack why that applies.
Now,
How much time do you have? Chris, go ahead.
Nice pick, please.
Go ahead.
it is my turn, right? It's my turn now.
Yeah.
Okay. There's not a lot left. You guys have taken mostly everything, so I want to. I'm trying to decide if I want to appeal to my horror friends or
Your horror?
my film horror.
Oh.
Horror.
Okay.
His horror friends.
That's
Yeah,
that's
that sounded
so
out.
so this is what I'm thinking. So on the horror side, we've
How many
got
horror friends do you have?
none. I'm engaged. I'm engaged, good sir. So I haven't
That's
seen
the right answer, buddy.
No, I'm just kidding. You guys know I'm friends with BD. So, so on the horror genre, I think I really love Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. Now we also have
Sure.
Friday the 13th Part 3, which is where Jason gets the hockey mask. So I'm torn between those two. But then there's also, if I want to appeal to my fellow film fanatics, there's also The Good and the Bad and the Ugly, which is the greatest probably Western of all time. So
I'm giving you also a great trilogy suggestion. The third of the trilogy. We went to somewhere with a person who was in this trilogy.
you're not talking about
Oh,
You're
she's
not
talking about.
you're not talking about Godfather, are you? That's not Part 3? Hell no. No,
It's
what
still
do
the franchise. You still have the Godfather franchise.
No, I can't go with Part 3, man. I can't
You
do
still
that.
have it.
For a second, I was like, are you talking about Meet the Fockers?
Yes. Yeah. No, it's Meet the Little Fockers.
What?
You still have the franchise. You still have the franchise.
Look, on the note of Meet the Fockers, we kind of have
Wait
a
a second.
brand.
Oh, wait. Layla is telling me High School Musical 3.
Yeah.
Okay, and she said she'll vote for me? Is that true,
No,
Layla?
that's my daughter betraying me.
She also already said she'd vote for Adam for picking Toy Story 3.
Wow.
I do want to mention that we've kind of made a brand for ourselves that we find all of people's entertainment industry favorite content creators. We bring them on the podcast and we get them to say fuck. And neither of you have done it yet, so I feel like you have to
I say fuck all the
improve
time. I didn't
the
know.
level, improve your vocabulary on the episode.
All right,
please.
well, Chris, you know what other franchise has not been picked, and they be fucking in it, is Bridget Jones's Baby.
They be fucking.
Wait a second. No, I thought you were talking about the 50 Shades of Grey or whatever that.
They also be fucking in
They be
that.
fucking
They be fucking in that one too.
That one's Freed. It's 50 Shades Freed.
You know what? Only because I truly do cherish Layla. I'm gonna say High School Musical 3.
I think that's a banger pick, honestly. They hooked you up in the chat. I'm not even gonna lie. They hooked you up in the chat.
I will say, Julia, before I said Iron Man 3, I was like about to say Iron Man 3, and then I saw Julia be like, I have a feeling it's going to be Iron Man 3, as it should be. Like, as soon as I said it, that was like, that's where I was going, because all my other picks got fucking chosen.
Some
good
great
draft.
ones that we have left off, like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was one I was going to mention as a honorable mention as well, Chris. Goldfinger, Skyfall, Mission Impossible 3, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Shrek 3.
Oof. I really wanted to draft Ocean's 13.
It's such a better movie than 12 that it
is.
It like deserves at least that much, right? It's like 12 was just dog shit, but 13 really pulled it right out of there. It was great.
You could have done, isn't there a third Leprechauns movie?
I wanted the Final Destination 3 in there.
Rachel, how dare you?
Gremlins.
There's no third Gremlins. What are you talking about, Garrett? You be quiet.
Ava wanted me to give a special shout out to what she says is undoubtedly the best of the Twilight Saga for Twilight Eclipse.
You know, I actually interviewed Sean William Scott today, and in honor of that, I almost picked American Wedding, but
That would have been a good.
Honestly, we could have gone 10 more rounds. There's a lot more picks.
For real.
I could not have gone 10 more rounds.
Who is we?
All I'm saying is we should have one bonus pick, and all gets to just pick one bonus.
no, we
pick.
can't. We can't have a bonus pick just because we've all like spouted out what our other picks
Yeah,
are.
true.
To
True.
be fair,
Some of
no.
them, then
To
maybe.
be fair, Garrett and I had bonus picks before we even did all this. So Garrett and I
Well,
already
yeah,
had
but
that.
then my bonus pick got picked up as an actual pick, so fuck me.
Also, I will say, Layla has said Triple Frontier like 4 times and kept being like, "You guys will just say it. They'll take it as a third in a trilogy because it has triple in the
Triple Frontier cannot be drafted despite having the word triple in it.
Dang.
There's some I mean, this really could go anyway because I'm looking right now at
We didn't even bring up Superman 3, Batman Forever. Like, there's so many things that we
Because
could
why
have
would
gone
you?
with.
Sorry.
Did you
I don't-
just
I
say what I
can't-
think you said?
Yeah, because I can't stand Batman Forever because I am a Michael Keaton Batman
Look,
fan, so that movie
okay.
made me angry.
I love Michael Keaton. I do love Michael Keaton. He's my Batman. But I mean, it's not like Val Kilmer got him fired. Michael Keaton chose to leave, and then Val Kilmer took it up. There were big bat boots to fill, and it was tough. But you know, he did his best.
I prefer bat nipples.
Yeah,
Just saying.
missed opportunity to say bat nipples right there, but it's okay.
Emma says she would have picked Blade Trinity. No.
Yeah,
If we're picking a Blade movie,
drafting the
Blade
worst.
Trinity is not the one that we're going with. That's like saying we're picking X3 or X-Men Apocalypse here. Not the one that we would want to have making the list, but this is why like this could really go any way. What's up, Rachel?
Could I technically have picked Oppenheimer if I proposed with this as the listen? Shush, Garrett. I see you shaking your head, but listen to my proposed.
All right, I'll give you a chance.
In my mind, Christopher Nolan's movies are all separated into the elements of the Prestige, and so if you start with the Prestige and then you have Tenet, which would be the turn, because obviously that is the like where everything gets flipped on its head. You have to come back, which is technically the actual Prestige part of it. That would be Oppenheimer because it's explaining everything that they say in Tenet, because that's what like the one quote is in it. So technically it would be the third of that specific kind of
That was a Christopher Nolan ass explanation if I've ever heard one, and I veto.
So
While I
today-
appreciate the amount of work it took to run around both Inception and Interstellar, you
because
know what?
no, those are all part of the same like the same turn element of it. Because those are
Oh.
all in the turn.
Look. I interviewed Chip Zdarsky today, and when we chatted,
Chip
I gave
Skyler?
Shut up, Rachel! I gave a question from our own Damon, host of the Comic Corner show on the Agents of Fandom YouTube page, and Damon said, like, TJ, if you have to write this down, I want you to make sure you say it word for word because I'm really proud of this question and I want to make sure it's done right. And so here's the question. So Chip, I've heard comics be compared to building a sandcastle. No matter how much of a masterpiece you build, eventually a wave is going to knock it down and somebody else is going to start a new one. But sometimes you find a flag left over from the last one, and people build upon the last sandcastle you have. Do you have any storylines from your Daredevil series or elsewhere that you might want to be picked up and kept in canon forever as part of your legacy? And he goes, Damon, I want to make sure you know that was a absolutely terrible analogy. I didn't understand it whatsoever. The sandcastle thing, it just didn't do it for me. That's how I felt about your explanation as to why Oppenheimer is a third movie.
Oh
It
my
makes
god.
sense. Maybe if you watched all of Christopher Nolan's filmography as I have, you would understand.
My favorite
You'd be
director.
like, I'm
Rachel,
plugged
are you just
in.
insulting all of us right now? Like we haven't
Yeah.
watched all of Christopher Nolan's
My
filmography?
favorite director.
How does it feel? Men do it to women all the
I
time.
don't
Don't
know.
they?
Fair. Alright, fair.
Rachel
Reparations.
just woman-splained us why Oppenheimer is a third movie in the trilogy.
Alright, unveto. You can make that pick. Oh man.
Next time round, it's Oppenheimer. And then I'll
Fuck.
explain why Barbie is the third of the Barbie movies.
I can't believe you just trashed Damon that hard to prove a point to Rachel.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was Chip.
You chose to put it on the podcast feed and immortalize it forever.
It was 100% you.
What do you think gets more views, this episode or our interview with Chip Zdarsky? It's probably going to be that, and so he's going to be eternalized, getting made fun of anyway.
Hilarious.
I do have to eternalize making fun of Layla really quickly, because when I was on the other podcast with CJ and her,
Fandom
we were talking
Academy
about Oppenheimer.
podcast?
Yeah.
On the
We were
Agent
talking
of
about
Fandom YouTube
Oppenheimer.
page and available wherever you get your podcasts. Sorry.
We were talking about Oppenheimer, and she did not know he was a real man. And she goes, "Wait, what did he do?" And I had to go, "Built the atomic bomb."
I love Layla so much. She's one of my favorite people on this planet. She's not a serious person, and that's what I love about her. You gotta expect stuff like that.
Okay, Logan Roy, you're not serious.
That was a direct quote. That was a direct quote from Logan Roy, and that's what I love about her. I'm glad that she asked that question.
She just said in the chat, "How was I supposed to know that? It's literally history. It's in a history book."
Huh. Now, did she at least say his name right? I mean, because if so, kudos to her, because I spent years saying Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Well, it probably had a British inflection to it when she said it.
Look,
so.
I just say things the way they're spelled. It's not my fault.
I mean, I do it too, man.
Now-
So if open
I
is
want
spelled
Logan
O-P-E-E, if open is spelled O-P-E-N.
TJ,
Good
I
job,
need
you got
you to not
that.
break down my joke right now.
And I don't need lesson languages from you. Now I'm stuck saying Calgary for the rest of my life. It sounds weird.
Good. You
when
know
I
who
say
else says
'cause
Calgary?
I've heard you
Hayden
listen to
Christensen.
nobody
And he's
except anybody
never
from
wrong.
Canada.
Never wrong.
That's
Hayden
true.
Christensen's
That is
never
very
wrong.
true.
You talking about Calgary right now? I
Yeah,
thought
he says
Calgary.
Calgary, and he said it 1,000 times over the last month, so now I can only ever hear Calgary.
Calgary
Anytime I
is
hear
not a
anything
place.
sound
That's
wrong.
just a very nice person who lives in Canada.
Cal first
Yeah,
name, last
this
name
is
Gary.
this is my pal Gary, but we call him Cal.
I am losing
That
it
is how
right
they
now.
that is how they talk in Calgary.
Can I give another? I have a pitch for a draft because we said it, and now I want to do it. What if
Pitch.
What if we did an HBO character draft? So then, like, I could draft Kendall Roy if I damn well chose.
That is
And I
a
could-
stacked
and go
draft.
through and you can go through all of the HBO characters. Obviously, if anyone takes Tony Soprano, I would consider it a hate crime because I have to take Tony Soprano unless you get another Italian.
Look, I heard all weekend when we hung out with Robert De Niro how Italian Rachel is. So let's everybody give her Tony Soprano.
We've been talking for, I was going to say for
Unless
a
it's
while.
just taking Tanya.
I was going to say we've been talking about this for a while, but it hasn't been for a while because I came up with this idea, I think, yesterday. And so it has not been a while. It's been the opposite of a while. But we've been thinking of doing something where we look at the Ticket to Reality podcast, Fandom Academy podcast, Listen 3000 podcast, and of course the future podcast Rachel will be debuting on the Agents Fandom Podcast Network as well, of doing kind of like a combined draft with all of these. We place them all on the feeds and then they can compete against each other on socials. Something I was thinking of would be maybe like you build your own Star Wars team. You have a Jedi, a Padawan, a captain of a pilot. That's the word I'm looking for, etc.
Chewie.
And a droid. And
Well,
our
fuck them.
podcasts could compete against each other. And I think the HBO one would be a good idea for that as well.
Yeah, because if you did Star Wars, I feel like my brother and I would get in a fight because I'd be like Chewbacca, and he'd be like C-3PO. I was like, I will disown you. I fucking hate C-3PO. And then it would just be a fight between two siblings live on camera.
Which is what everybody wants to see, really.
Yeah, and my
said
niece would be
drafting Lizzo.
screaming in the background. She'd
Look,
just be like,
everybody yelling at each other towards the end of the draft was probably the best portion of this episode here. So quickly, before we start wrapping up and do our little conclusion, everybody go over your team. We each picked 4. My team is Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, Logan, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Chris, you had the first pick. What was your team?
I had Captain America: Civil War, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Back to the Future Part 3, and High School Musical 3, just for Layla. Also, I just want to say that I think we all had really good draft picks. Like, we all got some good picks in there. So this is very solid, and kudos to all of you, even you, TJ, for taking Logan from me.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a whole lot. Adam, you had the second pick. Remind us who you drafted.
I ended up with Avengers: Infinity War, Thor: Ragnarok, Toy Story 3, and War for the Planet of the Apes. That was my 4.
Say Toy Story 3 again.
Toy Story 3.
Yeah, I thought you said Tory Story, if I'm going to be honest.
I also
Okay,
thought you
Calgary.
said stories.
Yeah, that's the only
He's
reason
not
I
gonna
was
say
making fun of
Calgary.
you is because of
I can
Calgary.
say Calgary like a normal person. Come on,
I
don't
can
make fun
too,
of the way I say
Calgary. I
toy.
just choose to say it the fun way. But that's why I had to give it back to you because of the whole Calgary thing. I had pick 3. I obviously said my team already. Rachel, pick 4. What do you got for us?
I had Return of the Jedi, and I think we should end this podcast, TJ, with you and I doing the entire scene from Revenge of the Sith, because I am mad you got it, because I still have the majority of that memorized from the top of my head. But anyways,
I have the high pick.
that's the end of the monologue. You don't
You don't start at the
It was
end
a
of the
perfect
monologue.
reference. It was a perfect
Rachel.
reference. I don't care.
Rachel, I don't know how you're complaining about this when you got Return of the Jedi. I need you to.
I saw
Fair.
Revenge of the Sith 58 times in one summer. That's why.
That's your problem.
But I got Return of the Jedi. I have Last Crusade. I have Iron Man 3, and then I have Star Trek Beyond.
Garrett, finalizing the draft. What was your team?
Yeah, I have Spider-Man: No Way Home, Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, Aliens 3, and the Dark Knight Rises. I totally forgot that for a second. I'm still wearing the Batman shirt. I got my Batman mug, and the Batman pick was the one I couldn't remember. You love to see it.
It killed me every time I was like, you got one that you have to pick. And you're like, no, I don't. What is it left? And I'm like,
And I almost
your
took it
favorite
from him.
director, kids, come on, man. Like,
And I almost took it from him because that was my other option. I was going back and forth, and I was like, I feel like more people rally behind Iron Man 3 than they do the Dark Knight Rises because they love the Dark Knight so much.
Yeah, I know. It's not the best, but I love it personally, so you're right. I had to take it.
look, you were my brother, Rachel, and I've had enough of your shit. Now,
Why do you keep going to the
Going
end?
off book.
Why do you keep
because
going to
I'm
the
good at
end?
segueing stuff, and I'm picking the ones that fit the conversation that can lead me to the next part of my read. That's why. Make sure you're following the Agents of Fandom podcast anywhere you get your podcasts, as well as the other shows on our podcast network, including Fandom Academy, Ticket to Reality, Listen 3000, and the unnamed upcoming Rachel Leishman and Brother Leishman podcast. Here's my guy, Obi-Wan from Revenge of the Sith. Those watching on video are getting the extra special quality content for this podcast. So make sure if you're watching us on YouTube, you hit that like button, you subscribe, and you hit that notification bell. And of course, check out the Agents of Fandom wherever you get your on any of the socials. My dogs are going crazy. I'm going crazy. I can't wait to relax the rest of the night. Garrett, did I miss anything important?
No, Chris has got to eat. Let's get out of here.
Chris has got to eat. Let's get out of here. Chris, before you eat, where can the people find you on socials, and where can they find this upcoming wonderful interview with Sean William Scott?
At Comic Book, just go to Comic Book. My face is all over that place, and I'm sorry. I've seen my face. I get
We're
it.
not.
But you guys, this was a hoot. Thank you for having. It's just pure chaos. I loved it. Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun. I'll see you guys all on Twitter.
Pure chaos is absolutely our MO. Rachel, where can the people find you on socials, and what kind of content you got coming?
Sorry, I got very nervous because Indiana Jones reviews came out, and I don't want anyone to say a goddamn word to me about this movie. I'm very nervous because I know how Hollywood likes to just spoil things, and if I see anything that's like, oh, breaking news, Kiwi Kwan returns the short round, I'm gonna be pissed because it's a spoiler. It's not a breaking news. Anyways, I'm sorry.
Mute.
I'm back. You can follow me at Rachel Leishman on Twitter, at Rachel_Leishman on Instagram. I am on Blue Sky if anyone got the invite. I got the invite to Blue Sky, so it's just Rachel Leishman on there.
Why are you
Listen-
so special? If I don't know if any of you, anyone listening, if you have been lucky enough to attend a press conference for whether it be Disney, HBO, or whoever, Rachel's consistently the first person who gets a question asked every single time. She gets invites to these exclusive new social medias. I've had enough. Sorry. Continue.
it pays to have been a very ugly child. That I reap in the benefits as a pretty adult. But
I respect that.
you should see
Yeah,
the
I
picture
don't
of
even
me
know
for-
what Blue Sky is, so
Yeah, me neither. If I'm gonna be
It's-
Me
honest.
neither.
I'm
It's the
just
new
like
alternative Twitter. It's like the new Twitter. It like looks the same as Twitter, kind of acts like Twitter. So
oh,
a
that
lot of
sounds
people are like, "Oh, finally!"
fucking awful. I don't want any part of that.
Like
So
Elon Musk there.
Miss me with that.
enjoy.
Oh, that was good. That was real good.
But I got hi. You can listen to me on the Fordcast, a Harrison Ford podcast. You can listen to me on Pedro Pascal, where I talk about Pedro Pascal's career. And if you're listening right now, tomorrow, check it out because we have a cool thing we're announcing. It's not an interview with Pedro Pascal, which is what everyone thought it was, uh, which everyone DM'd our account apparently because our producer was like, "I've made a mistake." It's not that.
We have miscalculated.
It's still very fun. It's really cute, but it's not, Pedro Pascal. And you can read my work at the Mary Suit, Collider, and then I'll have a podcast here that I have to fight my brother on a name for.
And
Don't
it is
know what it is
fantastic
yet.
work. I do read it quite often, Rachel. So it's so good. Everybody go read it.
Some of the best in the industry.
No. I mean, so is Chris. I watch all Chris's stuff.
Fuck
I
us,
don't
right?
I don't write anything, so that's not true.
Yeah, I come here all the time because I actually hate you guys, clearly.
It's true. Our content is not good.
I clearly hate you guys. That's why I come here and talk to you, and I'm in,
No,
in the
we're
chat now.
we're with some all stars in the industry. We gotta poke our fun where we can. But we appreciate you guys coming on and hanging out with us. We do love being pure chaos, but we do respect the shit out of both of you. So thank you for being with us. We love you. We love you both. And thanks to our listeners tonight.
We will see you next week with our Across the Spider-Verse primer, joined by our favorite fantasy football writer, Marvin Eloquin, former guest of the pod, and he's going to be joining us to talk Across the Spider-Verse. So we will see you next week. Thank you so much to Chris and to Rachel. On behalf of myself, Garrett, Adam, and our wonderful producer, Ruben, we will see you next week. Peace.
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 All right.